How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is Breaking Down the Books. Coming off of a pretty good day yesterday, went 9 of 13, 8 of 10 in hockey. Lost 2 out of 3 basketball picks, so that didn't go so well. But it is what it is. Like I said all the time, if you guys want the rundown, go and check me out on 514 Mystic on Twitter, and you'll be able to see the rundown on the picks that I had or not. Or you could always go and watch the show yesterday. Usually towards the end of the video, the last 2-3 minutes, I give you guys the rundown. But feel free to watch the video if you'd like so you could get the insight. Or you could just watch the last couple of minutes just to see what I'm picking if you feel the need to fade or follow. It is what it is. Today we have a short slate of NHL, pretty long slate of basketball, so no reason to really cut these shows short. And I'm going to cut this show short, so I'm not going to split them. And that's pretty much it. So starting from the top, we got the Montreal Canadiens versus the Ottawa Senators. Montreal Canadiens at home. Both teams coming off a back-to-back. Montreal is the favorite team here. Both teams have their backup goalies. Keith Kincaid at net for Montreal, and Ottawa has Anderson. I don't know if you could consider Anderson a backup goalie really, because he's kind of their, he was kind of their guy. Then they started going with Anders Nielsen because Anders is getting more wins. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. Basically after today, if Craig Anderson officially plays after today, they would have both played 11 games. So whether he's the starter or not doesn't really matter at this point. They're kind of splitting they're splitting the starts. Anyways, Montreal, they both over the last 10 games they both have relatively similar records. They're both 6-4 technically. Montreal 6-2-2. Ottawa 6-4. But Ottawa, in my opinion, just the way I'm seeing how it's going, Ottawa's a little bit more of the hotter team here. And I say that because they started the season winning like one of their first 12 or 13 games. So it was really bad for them. And now they racked up a bunch of wins. They have 9 wins on the season. So they have 8 wins in their last, basically in the second half of the games that they've been playing since the beginning. So they're a little bit of the hotter team here. Obviously, both teams are hot, or you could even say that they're evenly hot. Montreal is very favored here. I don't like the money that they're paying for Montreal to win. Keith Kincaid, arguably my favorite backup goalie in the league. There's others, but that's just my preference. I like the guy. 6.5 is the total here. Neither of these things are paying a lot. So for the game to go over 6.5 is not paying as much as the under is, and Montreal straight win is also not paying as much. I like Ottawa here, believe it or not. I like Ottawa to win versus Montreal. I think they're going to pull off an upset and Montreal goes into a 2-game losing streak, bring back Price and maybe get their win. But neither of these goalies are really good. Craig Anderson has 3 wins on the season out of the last 10 starts, and Keith Kincaid only has about 4 games under his belt. I think he's 2-1-1 or 1-2-1. Keith Kincaid is actually 1-1-2. So this is just, and I just pulled it up. One goalie has a 3.31 goal against average, 89% save percentage. The other one, Keith Kincaid, 4.23, but in his defense, only played 4 games, so you can't really hold that against him. 88% save percentage. Montreal allows, well, they don't allow, but they do allow a lot of shots on goal, and they actually take a lot of shots on goal. So I see this game easily going over, but I also like Ottawa to win in a high paced game. No offense to anybody. Next game we got, so yeah, official play Ottawa and the over in that game. Next game we got the Washington Capitals versus the New York Rangers. I'd love to sprinkle a little bit of money on the Rangers to win this game, just a little bit. But we got Backstrom who's out, so that might play a downer. That might be a downer for Washington. But they're still leading the league in points, so that says a lot. You got Braden Holtby who's at net, 11-1-3 on the season, 3 overtime losses, so still got points there. Probably the winningest goalie in the league. I'd have to check to be sure, but just looking at these numbers, he's probably the winningest goalie in the league. Then you got Lundqvist, 4-4-1 on the season, just even. 3.54 is the goal against average here. The over is not paying a lot of money, looking like 74 cents on your buck, unless you have other books. Another book might be able to give you 60 cents on your buck for the over, so I don't really like the over here. I would sprinkle a little money on Washington minus 1.5 as an official play, and I'll also sprinkle a little change on the Rangers to kind of hedge the bet. And that's pretty much it as far as that goes. If you have New York, like I said, you're not out of your mind because Washington is going to be playing without Backstrom. So for some, that might be a big deal. For me, I think it's pretty much the same team. Um, and both of these teams are rested. I don't see any reason Washington can't capitalize on King Henry. But I honestly though, the way that I see this game going under is if the Rangers get shut out. So the Capitals might get a shutout. The Holtby is due for one, and that's how I see this game would go under. But I'm not gonna bet on the total here. If I had to pick one, obviously the over, everybody's on it, but I would lean under, and I'd probably sprinkle a little change on the under also. Matter of fact, instead of sprinkling change on the Rangers, which is outrageous, I think I'd just sprinkle a little bit of change on the under in that game instead of anything else. So official play is Washington minus 1.5 with a little bit of change on the under, but official play Washington minus 1.5. Next, we're gonna move on to the NBA. Short slate of hockey today. Two games. That's all we got. 7:30 and 8 o'clock, or is it 7 and 7:30? Doesn't really matter, does it? 7:30 and 8 o'clock. That's the starts. Anyways, we're going to move along to the association. Starting from the top, we got the New York Knicks versus the Philadelphia 76ers. New York gathered up a couple of wins. You know, they're playing all right. They lost versus Charlotte, bounced back against the Cavs, where they blew them out. Pretty impressive win. But, you know, they're still the Knicks. Excuse me. Philly is they're at home. Haven't been overly impressive. 210 is the total here. 12.0 is the spread. I don't like a play at all. If I have to pick something, I'm picking the Knicks, and I don't like the Knicks. I don't like not that I don't. I have nothing against the Knicks, but I would rather not put my money on the Knicks in this game because I don't see it as a very valuable pick here. And but I haven't seen Philly cover too many spreads anyways. Let's just check, just to make sure. Philly over here. Philly over here. Philly is at home, and yeah, they're 6-6-1 at the spread. And New York is right above them, 7-7 at the spread. So neither of these guys are very consistent as far as these spreads are going. I don't really trust Philadelphia. Uh, I believe they win this game easily, but I don't know that they're gonna cover that spread. Like I would have to see it to believe it. As far as injuries goes, Josh Richardson's gonna be out. Elfrid Payton's still out. Reggie Bullock's still out for the Knicks, and that's pretty much it. Looking like Joel Embiid is gonna get the start, and that's pretty much it. Next game, so no play in that game. 210's the total. I don't like the total here. Next game, we got the Spurs versus the Wizards. 237.0 is the total here. Um, Spurs are favorite, which they, you know, in all seriousness, they kind of shouldn't be, but they're justifiably favored. They came out very hard in the last game they played. Tough loss. They're 2-point favorite here. 237 is the total. It's a lot of points, but Washington is one of the top teams in the league at going over, and honestly, I think that's way too much points. Yes, Washington does go over, and the Spurs are also not that good, but that's a lot of points. I'd go Spurs and the under in this game and do a correlated parlay with that. So not Spurs to cover, heavens no. I would go Spurs money line and the under 237 in that game as a correlated parlay. I wouldn't make them official because I mean it's kind of crazy. Let's see what they've been doing. Let's see if the Spurs merits my. I know that they don't cover spreads. That much I know. Washington is also not that good at the spread. But let's see what they've been doing as far as the totals go. Because Washington 6-4-1 at the total. 237 is a shit ton of points. Spurs go over all the freaking time. 10-4 at the spread. 70%. 71.4%. 10 out of 14 times they went over. No push. You know, I don't have a play in this game. Give me Spurs money line. That's it. I don't have. I would rather not touch that under. I didn't even realize Spurs were leading. I didn't even realize Spurs were leading the league and going over at the spread. At the spread. Don't confuse what I'm saying with actual NBA stats. I'm talking about betting numbers. We're not talking about actual NBA statistics with pace and all that stuff. The Rockets are leading the league in pace, 113 possessions a game. I'm talking about the game actually going over when the book says this total is going to do this. The Spurs are 10-4, highest in the league. If you guys want to know top three, got Spurs, Dallas, Minnesota. Top five, Detroit, Portland, and right outside of top five is Washington with the 6-4. So the top five: San Antonio, Dallas, Minnesota, Detroit, and Portland. Those guys go over. You see those numbers? Typically, over makes you money. Like you know, until further notice, over will make you money. So yeah, Spurs money line official play in that game. Next, we got the Brooklyn Nets versus the Charlotte Hornets. Brooklyn favorite 4.0 versus Charlotte. Charlotte's really not that good. Terry Rozier is going to be playing against Kyrie Irving if he gets to play today. Kyrie Irving's been injured with a shoulder injury, so not so sure if he's going to be playing tonight. It's looking like he is. As of right now, he's out. They're saying, yeah. So it looks like he's gonna be missing this game. Yeah, he's not gonna be playing tonight. That's too bad. It would have been nice to see Kyrie Irving play against the Charlotte Hornets. I think Charlotte could pull this one off. There's no reason for Brooklyn to win this game. They're out. How many point guards? They got a lot of point guards out right now. Um, Karis LeVert is out. Kyrie Irving is out. Spencer Dinwiddie is playing, so he's not out. But I could easily see Charlotte pulling this one off. Easily. So I would go Charlotte to cover that spread because Brooklyn hasn't been covering spreads. Totals 220. They also don't play defense, and I see these kids running up and down the court and, you know, doing what they got to do. But are they going to be able to get buckets? That's the other question. So just give me Charlotte plus 4.0. I'll live with the results in that one. I typically say to stay away from garbage teams, especially that Kyrie Irving's not playing. And, I like Brooklyn, but, you got to bet where the money's at. Cleveland versus Miami. Miami's a 10.0 favorite over Cleveland. 213.5 is the total here. Are there any injuries? Because that matters. Last time the Cavaliers played, it was versus the Knicks. Kevin Love didn't play. He was out with an injury. Tristan Thompson is going to be resting today. He had a pretty bad game the last game. He was supposed to get a double-double. He ended up fucking up. John Henson's out. He hasn't played yet. Um, Brandon Knight's out. Looking like Kevin Love is going to play tonight. It's looking like Kevin Love is going to play. Yeah, he's good to go versus the Heat. Does that really matter? Is that going to be that important? I think he gets a double-double, though. If you see Kevin Love on your screen and he's at 10.5 rebounds, maybe you could take Kevin Love. Like, he's not gonna be no. So he gets paid $100 million. He's not gonna be a slouch. But the Heats are really, 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 really good at the spread, and I like them to cover against these guys. 10.0 is kind of a lot of points, but I could see a cover in this game. There's pretty much the same people who are out, but I could see a cover in this game for the Heat. Give me the Heat at home to cover against Miami, against Cleveland. The under 213.5 is also a really good play. Colin Sexton, if he's at 19.5, I'm going to take him under. But another play for another time. I think I'm going to start giving you guys prop plays, but not like that. I'm going to do a prop show. But I'm not sure. I'm going to have to see if I get more views. If I get more views, I'm going to hit you guys up with some more content. But feel free to check me out on bookiebullies.com. There's always content there. And like I said, starting next week, I'm going to give you guys your free play. We all are over at bookiebullies.com. We'll give you your free play and once a day, which will be better than the YouTube plays. YouTube, you see, I give you guys a shit ton of picks, so it's not. It's obviously going to be a better results, typically better results, and you'll be able to follow the pick records on that site also. Next game, we got the Dallas Mavericks versus the Golden State Warriors. Golden State just played yesterday. They're in a back-to-back. They won, so they won their third game. Draymond Green went crazy with a double-double, no points. Got his rebounds, got his assists. No points for Draymond Green. I actually made a parlay with my book in Quebec, Mise au Jeu, and I lost because of Draymond, unfortunately. But it is what it is. When you make parlays, you have to expect a loss somewhere. And we if you could win 3 times a week, you're already making more money than working a 9 to 5. But it is what it is. 14.0 is a lot of points. I disagree with that. The over 217.0, I like the over in this game because Dallas is a top heavy team, which you just discussed in going over in the league. They're top 5. So I like that, and Golden State doesn't really play too much defense, so I like the game to go over. Next game, we got the Bucks versus Atlanta. Bucks 11.0 favorite over Atlanta. 232.5 is the total. Honestly, did these guys see each other this year yet? They haven't. The last time Milwaukee played versus Atlanta was last year. They didn't cover that spread. This is a very heavy spread, 11.0. Look out for me on Twitter, 514 Mystic. I'll give you if Atlanta goes up too early, I'm gonna give you all the updates on what's going on in that game, and I'll let you know if there's any high pay in dollars. Last time we ended up cashing out on Milwaukee when they were down, ended up giving you the six or more pay in about 250 to one, which was a pretty good day. That was the last time they played. Who did they play that game? It was versus the Bulls. They were down 7 points to the Bulls, and the six or more was paying a good bit of money, so made some cash there. High risk, high reward, and that's how you get rich overnight. If you're interested in that, we're not interested in getting rich overnight. We're just trying to make enough money so we could get through the season and basically be profitable by June. And you increase your money incrementally. That's just how it goes. So 11.0, way too high for me. 232.5, I think that's reasonable, but the Bucks, I mean, the Bucks sometimes, you never know what you're gonna get with them. They're 6-6-1 when at the over. When coming to the spread, we'll check right now because Atlanta's really not that good. Trae Young really makes them look like they're super nice, but they're really not that good. So Atlanta at the spread, 5-8. Milwaukee at the spread is 7-6. And they didn't even cover last year. Now, without Chris Middleton, they have to find themselves a new identity. And I'm not 100% certain that that is a coverable spread. I didn't even like what I seen versus the Bulls the other day, so I'd rather stay away from that game altogether. But 232 is still a lot of points. I'll put the under in that game. Hopefully Budenholzer gets under his team's skin and tells them, listen, if you guys don't play no defense and keep this team under 100 points, you guys are gonna run suicides. Because the Pacers were not wow. The Clippers were able to keep Atlanta at bay with 101 points. That's when they blew them out by 50. The Lakers were able to keep them at bay. Granted, the Lakers are the best defensive team in the league right now, currently, but the Clippers are shaky on defense, and they were able to keep them under 102 points. So just at 100 points. So I think the Bucks should be able to pull this off, but I'd rather go with the under 232.5. Next, we got the Toronto Raptors versus the Magic. Raptors 3.0 favorites, under 207.0. Raptors are very, very, very good when it comes to threes. They're one of the best teams in the league at it. 7:30 start. Do we got any injuries? The only injuries that we have is the same ones that we knew about: Stanley Johnson, Pat McCaw, Serge Ibaka, Kyle Lowry, and on the Orlando side, Michael Carter Williams doesn't seem like he's going to be playing tonight. So he is officially out, unfortunately. So Orlando's underdog, as they should be. Toronto is hot right now, kicking ass. I can't wait to see when these guys come back. Honestly, man, Toronto or nothing. I got Toronto minus 3.0. The total under, it's not a bad pick, but Magic's like sometimes they're shaky. They could finish that game with 207, or they could finish it with 208, 209, busting your card by like a 1 or a 1.5. So I'd stay away from the total just for today because Toronto is such a good 3-point shooting team. But I like the 3.0 for Toronto to cover that. Next, we got Detroit versus Chicago. Uh, if Blake Griffin is playing and Derrick Rose is playing, I like Detroit's chances. But Detroit hasn't been overly impressive. So Reggie Jackson is out. He's not coming back anytime soon. He's probably going to be back in December. So like next week, 2 weeks from now. Otto Porter Jr. is out for the Bulls. Hutchinson is out. Felicio is out. They still got some bad boy rookies on their team. Uh, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Chicago getting a W here, especially after taking the Bucks to the limit. And if they do that, if they bring that same energy to Detroit, to this Detroit team, I like their chances of winning. 222.5 is kind of a lot of points. Detroit is where is Detroit situated when it comes to covering the spread? Detroit is 4-8 at the spread, not very good at all. Not very good at all. And Chicago is also not very good with a 6-8 at the spread. I'd stay away from this game. Better off. Both teams are shit. Next game, we got the Utah Jazz versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. We got a revenge spot here for the Jazz. We're supposed to obliterate the Wolves by 9 or more, and they ended up losing that game flat out. They actually lost by like 10 points. It was embarrassing. There was nobody on that team except for Karl Anthony Towns. Stifle Tower ended up blocking the shit out of him, but it didn't matter. You know what mattered? The fact that Minnesota Timberwolves won by 10 points. So really, Utah lost by like 19 because they were slated to win by 9. Now they're favored to win by 3.0. Revenge spot indeed. And I like this revenge spot for Utah. 3.0 favorite, this is reasonable. Are they going to cover is the question. I'm not 100% certain. I'm really not. Utah's supposed to be very good this year. Haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Mike Conley's nice, yes, but Utah is 4-9 at the spread. I don't like Utah here. And 225, 222.5 is very low for a Minnesota Timberwolves team who goes over all the time. And this is not no grindhouse business. Obviously, grindhouse is restricted to Memphis. We're not talking about this. But this is no home team Utah. I like the over in this game. Yes, over 222.5. I like the over in that game. Okay? You got some injuries still. Andrew Wiggins, he might play tonight. Whether he plays or not, I like that over. 222 point. I think these guys are gonna trade. I like that. I like the 22. I like the 222.5. Call me up. You could hit me up in the comment section if you think I'm crazy. But I like Utah. Not only do I like them not to cover today, but I'm not giving that as a play. I like the over in this game because I don't think they're gonna bring it to the Timberwolves. I think they're gonna trade. I think it's gonna be bucket. You know what? You scored a bucket, I'm gonna score a bucket. You score a bucket, I'm gonna score a bucket. Until it gets to fucking 200 points. When you get to 200 points and you're in the fourth quarter, there's only one way to go. 10 points apiece. That's pretty much an over. Somebody got to score the last bucket. That's 222. Could be a 3. Maybe a foul. If you scored a 2 and then I get a foul, now I'm playing the foul game with the last 2 minutes. I think this game is going way over. I think that's way too low. They're anticipating that Utah's going to be playing defense. I think that's way too low. 222.5. Give me the over. I should max bet that bullshit. Anyways, next game we got the Houston Rockets, who are underdogs. These guys are like on an 8-game winning streak, and they're underdogs here. I want to know why. Green, we know he's out. Nene is out. Eric Gordon's out. We know that. There's no injuries for Denver. James Harden is playing, and Westbrook is playing. There's no rest. There's no nothing. Give me the Rockets to win. And if at any point in time they go down, give me the Rockets to win again. And if they go down even more, give me the Rockets again for a third time on this in-play shit. And then I'm going to sit back and watch the results. Because Denver hasn't been playing that good at home. So give me Houston as the underdog pick 'em here, paying damn near $2 on your money. And I'll live with the results in that game. 221.5 is the total. It could go either way. I'm not going to give it the total. I like Houston more than I like anything else. Next, we got Boston versus the Clippers. 8.0 is the spread. 220 is the total. Doc Rivers playing his old team. Could you really call him his old team? He hasn't been there in so long. I'm going to wrap this show up. Don't worry about it. This is the last game on the show. 11-2 is Boston. They should never be that underdog. It's crazy. Yes, Gordon Hayward is out. And I like to hate on these guys a whole lot. I do. But in their defense, they're really not that bad. You know what I mean? They like I don't like Boston, and I think the level of competition that they've seen is really not that good. But I like them to cover here because they're playing some hardcore guys. Like when you're going up against top contenders, you usually bring your A game. So I think Kemba Walker is gonna try to go off. Kawhi Leonard is going to be playing with Paul George for the first time today, so there might be some chemistry issues. I think Lou Williams is going to lose some touches as a result. I don't think Paul George is going to be on any minutes restrictions. That over looks like a pretty good pick, but I'm going to go with Boston to cover that 8.0 spread. I don't think they're going to lose by that much. I think the Clippers defense has been really shaky, and as a result, I'm going to go with Boston here. That's pretty much it for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys the Bookie Bullies rundown. But before I do that, I would like you guys to go ahead and hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell in that corner where you'd be able to get notified anytime I post videos like these. And also, the like button helps for the YouTube algorithm, just so YouTube could know that you like videos like these. So starting from the top in the NHL, I'm giving you guys the over 6.5 in the Ottawa versus Montreal game. Giving you the Ottawa Senators upset to win this game versus Montreal. Montreal gets on a 2-game losing streak. 267 on your buck as of right now at this book that I'm looking at. Giving you the Washington Capitals minus 1.5. In the NBA, I'm giving you the Spurs money line to beat the Washington. Giving you Charlotte Hornets plus 4.0 to beat Brooklyn. I think they beat Brooklyn, but I'm going to go with the spread instead. I'm giving you the Miami Heats to cover the 10.0 against Cleveland with Kevin Love in the lineup. If you guys see Kevin Love at 10.5 on his rebounds, feel free to hit that over button. But again, you know, when you put in your money on these things, you're risking a loss. Obviously, it's all a gamble. But you know, just be careful with it. None is guaranteed. Giving you the over 217.0 in the Golden State versus Dallas game, giving you the under 232.5 in the Bucks versus Atlanta game, giving you the Raptors minus 3.0 to cover against the Magics, give me the over 222.5 in the Utah game, give me the Rockets money line to beat Denver and to beat them by a lot of points, and give me the Boston Celtics plus 8.0 for the first time that I'm betting on them. They're not favorite, so I'm okay with that. That's 12 plays, and you could find those plays on my Twitter. You'll see the results on my Twitter also, and you could also find this video on bookiebuddies.com. Link is in the description. That's pretty much it for me. I'll tell you like I tell you all the time, best of luck to all, and please do not bet what you can't afford to lose. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You're not going to get rich overnight. You want to get rich overnight? Look me out. Look out for me on 514 Mystic on Twitter. Give out these high-paying plays, these in plays, which are very high risk, also high reward if they hit. So you could go ahead and follow me on Twitter and get your high-paying picks over there. But anyways, that's pretty much it for me. Be safe, be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow.